All right. I'm just a pup. Just a pup. I don't feel like a pup. Okay, excellent. So, hi, everybody joining online. Get you all set up here. I don't know what I've done. All right, good enough. Okay. Happy Friday. I don't know about you guys, but it's felt like a little bit of a long week to me. Maybe that's the snowstorm, but it's good to be here. It's good to just have this space to move and breathe and just take time to just be right here and now. Been thinking a lot about how fast life moves and how not being present contributes to that even more. And so the best thing, the best gift that we can offer ourselves is just to take time, just to be present. And often the easiest way we can do that is to begin to tune into our breathing. That's the most obvious tool that we have in our toolbox. So of course, we'll start our practice that way today. So just landing in a comfortable spot. For those of you joining at home, if you have a blanket or something you can use like a yoga blanket, a big thick towel works nice as well. You can sit upon that, just close your eyes, relax the weight of your arms, relax the weight of your lower jaw and teeth. So just letting your teeth part, the lips might stay against one another, but take a deep inhale through the nose and an exhale through either your nose or your mouth. And just notice how your breathing feels here at the start of your practice. Sometimes we have these unrealistic expectations that as soon as we stop and land and sit and tune into our breathing, that it should be free and easy, but often there is some residual tension kind of following like chemtrails along with our breathing. So don't be surprised if it doesn't feel as free and easy as you might hope just yet. So let's see what we can do to work with that. We'll bring the palms of our hands together and just give a little rub of the palms across one another, just to kind of generate some awareness between the right and left halves of your body, and just a little bit of warmth between the hands and a little bit of sound. And then guide your breath gently down deep again on your inhale, and either through the nose or the mouth as you exhale. Now begin to slow the friction between your hands back down. And just land your hands in Anjali Mudra, base of the palms pressing firmly, base of the knuckles pressing firmly, and then taking the base of your thumbs right to the very top of your breastbone. Take another deep inhale, feel the chest rise. Breathe everything out. And then keep your eyes closed. Begin to raise your hands up high overhead. Take a deep inhale, stretch up through your fingertips. And as you exhale, open your arms out wide and away, drifting your fingertips down toward the floor as you breathe out. Inhale, scoop that energy back up through midline, land the palms together, and then raise high. Exhale, open your arms out wide. And then just one more time, deep breath in, right up through midline. And then open your arms out wide as you exhale. This time, just land your hands fairly close to your hips. Let your fingers feel heavy. And then take a little lean over toward the right, a little lean over toward the left, and then lean over to the right. Place the palm of your right hand down onto the ground. Take a stretch up high through your left arm. Begin to bend your right elbow to deepen the stretch. You might feel the breath get a little stuck here as you open through the rib cage. And then as you come all the way back to center, Bring your arms out toward a T. Just stretch long through the fingertips. We are going to take full advantage of this spaciousness that we have either at your home practice or here in studio. So just kind of move the hands around a little bit in space, turn the palms down, turn the palms up, wiggle your fingers, and then bring the hands straight out, palms down, point your fingers down. So flexing at the wrists, drop the fingers straight down toward the earth. Drop your arms a little lower if that's uncomfortable for your neck or shoulders. And then we're gonna reach back out through the fingertips. Take a deep breath in as you raise your hands high, and then exhale, arms come out and down once again. Take just a moment to settle at center, to take a breath or two. Perhaps feel the difference that you might experience from your right side of your ribs to your left side. And then we'll start to even that out, placing the left palm down onto the ground. Take a stretch of your right arm high, lean your way over, arc your way over, keep breathing as best you can. Keep anchoring down through your right sitting bone. And then use a little help down through the left palm to press you back up. Arms float up toward a T, stretch out through the fingertips. This time create fists with the hands. Take a few circles of your hands around with the fists intact. Deep, deep, powerful breath. Inhale and exhale. And then flip your palms skyward. Take a deep breath in. Seal the palms together. This time exhale, the hands come right down to heart. Slow and steady breath. And just a bit of stillness and quietude to move intentionally into this practice together this evening. And even though you might be practicing independently at home, we are certainly still together. Take one more deep breath. And then take your time to come to your hands and your knees, just a tabletop position with your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. If you're feeling a little bit like me and your knees are a bit achy, you can always add some cushioning with your blanket. 40 might still be young, but I feel like I'm feeling the effects just the past couple of days. So arc your way up into a cat-like stretch, press down through the hands, take a little shift forward and backward, and do this really slowly so that you can tap into the stretch potential through the length of your spine, particularly your low back and your mid back. Then soften back into a neutral spine. Draw your chest slightly out ahead of you. Lift your chin ever so slightly, not quite down to cow, but allowing the abdomen to relax ever so slightly. Now tuck your toes under behind you. Press your feet into the mat. Let your abdomen lower a little bit more. Let your chin rise slightly. And then flatten your feet. Arc your back up toward the ceiling. Find that exaggerated cat stretch again. And then press back into child's pose. Take your hips all the way back to your heels. Extend your hands way out in front of you. Soften your forehead down toward the floor, not necessarily to it. And then take a few breaths in child's pose. And just take notice. What speaks the loudest to you in your body in this shape? And then start to rise. Come back up to your tabletop. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog. And similar to that first cat stretch, go into it really, really slowly with bent knees, just easing your way back, giving your body the full potential of the stretch. Feeling no rush to dive right into the deepest stretch possible. Take a few nods and shakes of your head. Couple of deep breaths. Feel the wrap of your rib cage. And then just take your time to work your feet forward on your mat, to work them up toward your hands. And then once you have them landed confidently in place, take your fingertips up high on your shins. Lift your heart a little higher than your hips. Take a breath in. And then bend your knees generously, come forward into your fold, let your head hang heavy, and enjoy a few breaths there. Just easing out of this week with a nice, slow Friday practice. Take your time to roll your way up, engage your abdominal muscles, stand tall, roll your shoulders back, lift your arms skyward, right up alongside your ears, stand tall, reach high, breathe deep, and then drift your arms slowly down near your sides. Now keep this slightly broader stance through your feet, right under your hips. We're going to sit back into our chair pose, kind of scoop the air forward and upward through your hands, and find a comfortable position through your shoulders. You might roll the palms toward one another or roll them slightly up. Draw in and up through your navel. Take a deep breath in. Now as you exhale, lower your left arm down, back, and behind you. Widen the arms out toward a T, but keep your hips pretty square. Now find a prayer hand twist, but rather than connecting the elbow down to the knee, we're going to hover it maybe 6 to 8 inches above. Now stand tall, reach your hands high, take a deep breath in, lean back ever so slightly, and then dive forward, exhale. Gentle half lift with your fingers on the floor or shins. Breathe in, exhale all of your breath out, and relax into the stretch. Slight tuck of your chin toward your chest. Take another couple of breaths here. And then when you're ready, come all the way back up, nice and slow. Stretch your arms high above your head. Take a deep breath in, and then sit back into your chair pose as you breathe out. Take an inhale at center, and then your right arm is going to come down, back, and behind you, arms to a T. Keeping the hips square, pressing the palms to one another. Come forward a little, find that deeper rotation, but hover your elbow above the leg. Feel the strength and warmth through your legs. Relax the tension from your jaw. Stand tall, stretch high. Breathe in, come forward. Breathe it out. That gentle half lift. Make space for your inhale to come in, and then move deeper into the stretch. Let the weight of your torso hang down. Slow and steady breath. When you are ready, place your hands to the top of your mat. Step your feet all the way back into downward facing dog. And then from downward dog, lower your knees down onto your mat. Work your hands a little farther in front of you for extended puppy pose. Hips stay relatively high above your knees. Soften the chest down, get a good full stretch and full length from fingertips to hip bones. And then lift up just enough to bring your forearms onto the top of your mat. We're going to step our feet back into forearm plank. Now, as soon as you come into the full length and effort of this, you certainly have the option of touching the knees down onto your mat or keeping them lifted. Keep your chest broad. Keep breathing. Relax your jaw. Distribute the effort through as much of your body as you can. Take another breath. And then bring your knees, thighs, and abdomen slowly down. We'll follow that with 3 luxurious rolling cobras. Hands move out wide on palms or fingertips. Lift on your breath in, bow forward with your breath out. Follow the rhythm of your breathing 2 more times. Rise and fall, ebb and flow, matches your breath in and out. And just for a moment, close your eyes as you're here on your abdomen. Work your hands back in close to your chest for support. Loop the shoulders back, tuck your toes under. Chest lifts high, chin lifts just a little bit. Take one more inhale, and then pressing your way up through kneeling or full plank, find downward facing dog and a deep breath there. Take one more deep breath, perhaps clearing the breath out through an open mouth if you'd like. And let's raise our right leg up and back behind us within the shape of our downward dog. Energetically pressing down through your left heel, lift your right leg, strengthen through the upper body, take a giant breath in, and then step forward between your hands for warrior 1. Turning that back foot out just a little bit. Raise both hands up high. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, hinge forward just enough to feel your back leg a little more firmly. Press down through that back foot. Now create a cactus position through your upper body. Keep on breathing here. And then full extension back forward through the fingertips. Inhale, and then relax your arms down, stretch your fingertips back, widen the arms out and away from your body. Now from here, we're going to take our left hand down low and then out in front of you. Keep pressing back and out through the right fingertips. Keep pressing forward through the left. And then bring your left hand down onto your mat. You're going to come onto the ball of your back foot, stretch your right hand high, find your rotation, find your open arm twist. Keep on breathing. One more inhale. Exhale, the right hand comes down to frame your front foot. Lower your back knee, half splits. We'll straighten our front leg. Walk your hands back, lift your heart high, take an inhale. And then if you'd like to deepen the stretch, you'll bring your chest a little closer to the knee, bend your elbows, or stay just as you are. Take another breath. And then you're going to ease back toward that low lunge, framing your front foot, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. We're going to walk our hands over to the left so that we can turn sideways into a wide leg stretch on our mat. Adjust your feet, heel toe them out to a distance that feels right for your hip joint alignment, and then fold forward into it. A little rise and fall with breath if that feels right for your body, kind of backing off of the stretch on your inhale, moving in a little more deeply with your exhale. And then come to that half lift, just setting your hands right under your shoulders. We're going to turn our left toes out, keep your hands just as they are, and begin to bend your left knee, just coming into a nice long side lunge. You'll come back up through center, take a breath in, reposition your feet, right toes turn out, right knee bends. Good, and then just move back and forth with this, really focusing the stretch on the inseam of that extended leg. And then come over to that left side once again. Left toes turn out. We're going to walk our hands in that direction this time. And then start to lift your chest just a little higher. We're going to leave our right fingertips on the ground. You're going to take the palm of your left hand, just press it gently to the top of your left thigh. Draw the left shoulder back. Turn your gaze slightly up toward the ceiling. Take a breath or two. And then release. You're going to just walk your way all the way back over toward a lunge at the top of your mat. And we'll step back into plank pose. Again, kneeling plank is great. Knees lifted is great, whichever one works best for you today. Take an inhale and then take your time to lower down on an exhale. Cobra or upward facing dog. Breathe in. And then come to down dog on a breath out. Take a few breaths in downward dog. Take that opportunity for quietude, for stillness, for presence. Slow everything way down. There is one thing that I have found personally in the 15 years that I've been teaching yoga. Life moves fast enough as it is. The last place I want to really hurry is on my yoga mat. When you're ready, take your left leg up and back behind you. Take a deep breath. And then as you exhale, step forward between your hands. Take your time to set your feet up. Feel really confident in your foundation. Rise up, reach high. Breathe deep. Get your bearings. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, hinge forward just enough that you can really feel that back foot more firmly to your mat. Create a cactus position through the upper body. Relax your shoulders a little bit. And then stretch forward on an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to bring the hands down low and then out wide and away from your hips. Strengthen your back leg a little bit more. Think of enlivening it even more. Right hand's going to come low and then stretch out ahead of you. Keep reaching back through the left fingertips. One more breath here. Right hand comes down. Come onto the ball of your back foot. Your right heel will point straight up toward the ceiling. Left hand goes high to the ceiling as well. Keep on breathing. Excellent job. One more breath in. Exhale and release your left hand down. We'll take our back knee down and straighten the front leg for half splits. Ardha Hanumanasana. Walk your hands back. Good. And then just slow your breathing down. Remind yourself that your jaw doesn't need to take up any extra responsibility in this shape. Part the teeth, maybe part the lips. Exhale your breath out. And then when you're ready, ease your way back toward your low lunge. Lift your back knee, walk your hands over, coming into that side way position on your mat, wide leg stretch. Relax into it. Just give yourself a little time. You can use your hands to deepen the stretch if you're feeling ready for that. And then find that halfway lift. Turn your right toes out. Bend in that direction as you breathe out. Inhale as you come through center, transitioning to the other side. Breathe out, lunge to the left. Once more on each side. Use the power of that exhale as you come into the full depth of the stretch. And then the next time that you move over toward the right, you're going to walk your hands in that direction of your right foot. Left hand's going to stay there at the floor. Right palm presses gently to the top of your thigh. Kind of peel the right shoulder back. You can turn your gaze slightly up and back. And then release. Now this time as you come back to center, fold forward once again, start to walk your hands back between that space of your feet. And you decide if you want to turn the fingers in the same direction as the toes, or if you want to turn them in the opposite and kind of think of crawling the fingertips back as far as they will go. And then work your way forward to that half lift once again. Narrow your feet in ever slightly, just for a little more stability. Bend your knees, hands come to hips, and we come slowly all the way up. And just enjoy, just kind of bask in this shape for a few moments. Hands at the hips, chest broad. I'll turn around here. Close your eyes and just breathe big. Take a moment to feel your feet, to strengthen your legs, and feel your hips kind of firm up beneath the hands. Use the power of your hips. And then open your eyes. We're going to stretch our arms out and up overhead. Take a deep breath in. And then go out wide. You'll bring your hands back behind your hips. Interlace the fingers. Draw the knuckles down. Lift your heart high. Breathe in. And then with a little bend in your knees, make the descent forward with your shoulder stretch. Let the head relax and release down heavy to the floor. Completely normal to feel a little bit of adjustment through your neck here. And then bring your hands to the back of your bum, all the way down to the floor. We're going to slowly work our way back toward a lunge at the top of our mat, and then step back into plank pose. And just stretch out into the shape again, coming to the knees if you need to. Take a deep inhale. Exhale your way down. Inhale through cobra or upward dog. Take your sweet time to move back to down dog as you are ready. And then let's revisit the shape of child's pose. Knees down to the mat, really work your hips back as close as you can get them to your heels, and then stretch out through the upper body. If the head does not easily relax upon your mat, do cross your arms, create a little pillow for your forehead to come to. And just feel your breath. See if you could be captivated absolutely by the here and the now. And just notice, hopefully with a bit of a sense of humor, how easy it is for your mind to escape the here and the now. And just remind yourself that it is the allowing that is important. The carving out of the time, allowing yourself to breathe, being gentle with yourself when your mind jumps from past to present to future to past to present, future, again and again. We just allow ourselves to be here, and we forgive over and over again, and practice compassion first and foremost with our own selves so that we can more fully with others. Take one more breath. Come from child's pose back to your tabletop. If you've had your eyes closed, just slowly open them. Set your gaze slightly out in front of you. Take a breath or two. And then we'll extend our right leg straight back behind us. Just reach out through the leg. You're going to take your left arm and hover it all the way forward ahead of you, or touch your fingertips down to the ground, whichever you can manage today. We're going to keep our right leg extended just as it is. Take a deep inhale, and then just one time exhale and create a fist and pull your elbow in toward the left side of your chest. Re-extend forward through the left fingertips, stretch out long, and then return your left hand down onto your mat. Now keep your right leg straight, but bring the toes down to tuck under to press against the floor. We're going to pick up our left foot, take it over to the side, turn into barred gate pose, full extension through your right leg, full stretch and reach up through your right fingertips. Take a deep breath and feel the right foot anchored to the floor. Take a deeper stretch of your right arm alongside the ear. And then go high through your right hand. Reach up, begin to elevate your right leg up and away from the floor to hip height. Open the chest up toward the ceiling, allow your arm to fall back, bend your right knee, and see if you could catch the foot into your hand for your quad stretch. Find and feel your breathing. And then release. Turn back to a tabletop at center. Round the back into cat stretch. Shift your hips back ever so slightly to offload your wrists. Then move back to your tabletop and switch it up. Take your left leg straight back behind you, right arm straight ahead of you. Take a deep inhale, create a fist with the right hand. Exhale, pull just the elbow toward the right side of your chest. Reach forward again, breathe in, and then bring your right hand down. Bring your left foot down. Right foot moves over just a little, shin at a diagonal. This just helps us with balance a little bit more. Barred gate pose. Feel your left foot. Stretch your left arm a little deeper, taking the arm alongside the ear as long as that is comfortable for your shoulder. Beautiful. Anchor into the left foot. Then you're going to go high with your left hand again. Feel the ability to begin to elevate the left leg. Hover it up. Open the chest. Let your arm fall back a little. Bend your knee. Catch hold of your foot. Breathe. Chances are you'll feel some warmth stretching through your left arm. Take one more breath here and release. Come back to center. Come back into tabletop, into your cat-like stretch. Shift your hips back a little bit to offload your wrists. And then return to that tabletop position right into downward facing dog, sending as much of your body weight backward in space to take some of that pressure out of your wrists. And just take one deep breath here. Come up onto the toes, work your feet forward, coming to a forward fold near the top of your mat. Halfway lift for a breath in, exhale, and move deeper into your stretch. Now bend your knees quite a bit, thinking of your thighs as being shelves. You're going to widen your stance a bit as well and allow your torso to rest down to that space right on top and maybe even slightly to the inside of your inner thighs. Wrap your arms around the back of your legs. Grab hold of opposite forearms if you'd like to. Take a deep breath. And then shift your hands to the thighs just above the knees. Come up nice and slow. Just press your way up, up, up. Rise up, slide the hands toward the fronts of your hips. Stand tall, close your eyes, breathe deep, breathe big. And then shake your hands out a time or two. Circle the wrists around, create fists, stretch the fingers back out again. And then open your eyes, find a spot just to rest your drishti upon. We're gonna move into camel pose. So just glance down towards your feet, set them at hips distance. A couple of options of the position of your hands. You can certainly take the fingertips to point straight up through the spine and the heels of the hands down. Sometimes that can be a little rough on our wrists. So you can take your thumbs to point up, fingers wrap around, or you can take fists with your hands, drawing the tail down, lifting your heart high. Take any of those three options. Take a few breaths, strengthen down through the legs. And then lift tall once again. You're gonna flip your hands down to the top of the thighs, bend your knees. Give yourself a little bit of a massage down the back line of your legs. Once you get to your calves, take a little more time as you work down lower toward the Achilles tendon, the top of the heel. And then even thumbing into the front of your ankle and the top of your foot a bit as well. Let the whole upper body hang. Give your head a little nod and shake. And then bring your hands out toward the floor in front of you. Work your feet out wider on your mat. Once again, slide your hands up to the top of your thighs and come up nice and slow. Now, once you get to the top of that position, I want you to just take a few circles of your hips and go slow enough to really feel the hip joint mobility that you have. You can go circles, you can do figure 8 patterns and just kind of give yourself a little dance. It's kind of a coordinated effort test too, to see, oh, can I go figure 8 in both ways? Back and forth. And then from here, we're gonna grab that blanket and we're gonna take it, we did this earlier in our practice this week as well. We're gonna take that blanket, we're gonna give it a fold so that we've got this big, thick stack. You're gonna take that clean edge of your blanket and you're gonna put it right to the kind of halfway point on your feet. We'll work our feet out wide, take the toes out just a little bit. Keep your hands held at your hips. You're gonna start to bend your knees and pull your hips back as far as they will go in space. And then from there, we'll slide the hands to the thighs. We're gonna take our forearms down to the top of our thighs. Work the hips back a little farther, press down through the forearms, lift your chest. And then work your hands down to the floor. Start to move into Malasana, so lowering the hips down, taking the elbows to the inner thighs at this point, hands joined together. And the goal being that this position feels a little more sustainable for those of us with tight ankles and calves. So we can access the stretch in our hips, not being limited by the ankles and feet. And then release your hands low, lift your hips high, take a heel toe of your feet back in close together, still wearing those very comfortable high heels. Stretch out over your legs. Okay, hands to thighs, roll yourself up. And then we're gonna do one more thing with the blanket. So we're gonna take this blanket, we're gonna move it to the back of our mat, but we're gonna turn it around so that your clean edge is now facing toward the back of your mat. So it can be, you know, about 6 to 8 inches away from the edge of your blanket. We're then going to step our feet onto it so that the front half of our feet are elevated. You're gonna feel a pretty deep stretch through your calves. And then we're gonna take that to downward facing dog. Now you're gonna move real slow. You're gonna feel a pretty deep stretch. You'll probably feel your heels lift up and away from your mat, and that's perfectly fine. Take a little side to side sway. You can work your hands a little farther forward. You can keep lifting your hips high. You can keep making it a goal to press your heels down, but they won't necessarily reach your mat. Excellent. Keep breathing. And then we're going to come down onto our knees. work your way forward just a little bit so that you can bring your feet all the way off of that blanket. Work the knees in close. We're going to sit back, but we're going to grab that blanket and just slide it right in for a little comfortable seat so that our bony heels aren't digging into our bottom. And then just sit for a few moments. Make sure that your hands feel relaxed wherever you've landed them. Change that position if you need to, perhaps stacking them one into the other in your lap, or resting them just hanging down at your sides. Once again, relax. Tension from the jaw, from your temples. Tend to your neck by taking ear to shoulder, chin to chest, ear to shoulder in a semicircle, and then retracing that semicircle back down and across the chest. Breathe. And then sit tall once again. Lift the chin. You're letting your head come back, but not fall passively back. You can stay just as you are, or if you would like to bring your hands down to the floor, back behind your feet, you can lean back a little further. You can stay right there, or you can lift your hips away from your heels. Just take a few more breaths, being gentle and kind to your body, allowing this time for yourself. And then when you are ready, you'll slide off of your seat, take that blanket. We're gonna use it one more time on our mat, back behind us, like a bolster. So just that shape of the bolster extended out behind you. Your hips will be on your mat, and then you'll roll back onto the length of that blanket. Now, I know that everyone practicing today, practically almost everyone knows why I use this blanket for a bolster instead of a bolster. And that's because you can tailor make the end of that blanket to cradle your head and your neck. So reach back, grab it, really form it under the base of the skull and the neck to feel really, really supported. And then stretch your arms out. You can keep your feet on your mat and your knees bent if that feels best, or extend the length of your legs straight out on your mat. Or find bound angle pose, soles of the feet touching and knees out wide. Any of those three options. And once you have chosen one of those three options, breathe into it. Breathe. Come into your body and be. Seek out the less obvious spaces in your body that you could breathe into. Maybe your sinuses, maybe your scalp, maybe the fronts of your shins, tops of your toes. Front of your neck. Space behind your chin and below your tongue. Feel the rise and fall, just a couple more breaths. If your legs are straight or your hips are open, go ahead and make your way back to knees bent and feet on your mat. Take your time just to roll a little in one direction or the other, enough to move the blanket out from beneath you and then come right back onto your back. Tucking the shoulders in such a way that you feel your shoulder blades onto your mat. Chest broad. Some good space down the length of your spine. And then bring your right knee in toward your chest. Find the full stretch of your left leg out long. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, lift your head, neck, and shoulders up and away from your mat. Take your nose up close to your knee. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, roll your way back down to rest your head. Guide your right knee all the way across the body for spinal twist and stretch outward and away through your right arm. A little exploratory movement is absolutely allowed through that right arm. If you want to cactus it, or you want to lower the arm down or stretch it up a little higher. And then when you're ready, come back to center. Bring that right knee in, give it a little stir, just stirring the whole right leg around and around in the basket of your hands. And then switch sides. Stretch your right leg out long, take the left knee up toward your chest. Take a deep inhale, and with your exhale, a little abdominal crunch, just to bring your nose up toward your knee. One more breath in, and then you use that exhale to roll your way back down to rest your head. Guide the knee across, left arm comes to outstretch away from your body. Good. Take a couple of breaths, take a little exploratory movement through your left arm. One more breath here. And then as you come back to center, you're gonna take the basket of your hands just around the knee, move your left leg around, just kind of circling the knee and the hip. Continue to circulate your breath. And then we'll invite the right knee back toward our chest as well. Widen the knees. Do that abdominal crunch once again, and find your feet with your hands for happy baby. Get your feet up high. Take another inhale, and as you exhale, you're lowering the shoulders and the head back down, staying in the depth of the stretch through your hips. Now it's up to you, depending on how open your legs are feeling. You might roll a little toward the right and straighten your right leg out. Come back through center, roll a little to the left and straighten your left leg out. Straighten-ish is a great term for this movement. And then release your feet, place your feet down onto your mat with your knees bent. Take a lift of your hips up toward bridge pose, with the goal being to just decompress the front line of our body, to enliven the back line once again. And then lower your hips down, work your feet in just a little closer. A simple figure 4 from here. Right leg goes high, right ankle crosses over your left thigh. Bring the shape of your legs in toward you. And you can certainly straighten the left leg or keep the knee bent You can add the slightest rocking right and left. Sometimes this can help to relax your nervous system. This gentle jostling. Separate the teeth once again. Feel a heaviness through your jaw. And then release. Take the right leg high just for a moment, and then the right foot back down to the floor. Left leg goes high. Cross the ankle, open your hip. Figure four. Again, close your eyes. You can lift the right leg or keep the knee bent. You can sway a little side to side. Broaden your chest with your breath in. Let your shoulders and hips feel heavy with your breath out. And then take your right foot down low, left leg up high to release. Come into a full body stretch, full length through the legs, arms alongside the ears. Point, flex your feet, shift the hips a little. Decide if there's anything else that you need from your practice. And then find Shavasana. We've got a blanket today, so don't hesitate to add the weight and the warmth of your blanket across the hips or a cushion beneath your head. And as we find the shape of Shavasana, if you need one more slow lulling of your head, just kind of a shake of the head side to side, to be unencumbered, to be right here, right now. Give yourself the gift of slowing everything down. Don't lose any time in the past or the future. Breathe in and breathe out. Let it be that simple. Let it be that slow. Allow your breath to come in and allow your breath to leave. Take a few more deep breaths. immersing in this experience, this moment. This practice of being present. This practice of redirecting your attention, your awareness to the here and the now. It's an exercise toward mindfulness, similar to our physical exercise might be toward health, longevity, and fitness for our physical bodies. So as you continue to breathe deeply, begin to reawaken some movement back into your hands, feet, arms, and legs. Feel free to move into another full body stretch or another movement that is a gentle awakening for your body. And then take your time to transition to a comfortable seat. Once again, once you rise, close your eyes, settle into that seat, that Sukhasana, an easy seated posture, a posture with our goal being that it is filled with ease, Sukhasana. And then take a hand, does not matter which one, up to your upper chest. Feel the rise and fall of your breathing. And then take your other hand over top of it. Take a deep inhale with a gentle suspension of the breath at the top, and then breathe your breath out. And then once again, deep inhale and exhale. One more time together, just a deep breath. Shifting your hands, palm against palm, base of your thumbs near the top of your breastbone. Take a shift of the hands, base of the thumbs come up high on the forehead, lift your chin, inhale, and then a gentle bow of your head, exhale. Thank you so very much for sharing your practice with me this evening. Namaste. Thank you, ladies, joining in studio. And thank you to you ladies joining online. Great to see you here. Hope you had a great home practice, and I hope to see you again soon in person. Bye, take care. Have a good weekend.